What's poppin', everybody? Happy Halloween. As you can see, I am a tiger. I got my tail too. All right, and we're gonna go right into the reading. Let's see what we got today. I hope you guys are liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. I hope you are following the podcast, The She Heal Show on Spotify. All right, let's see what we got today. Ooh, we got selflessness, crown chakra. I am kind to all. I am aware that everything I do or say affects others. I will help those who seek it. I will seek out ways to be of service. I develop an attitude of looking for ways to help others instead of always waiting to be asked. Everything I do from a spiritual perspective, and I put my heart into it. And like it says, I will help those who seek it, and I will seek out ways to be of service. I look for ways to help instead of always waiting to be asked. So there's some type of opportunity or lane that you might see is wide open, and it's being presented to you for a reason. So view it from a spiritual perspective, because it also could be something that's not going to pay that much, or it may not seem like it's going to pay that much, or it may not pay that much at first. So you want to do what you need to do to prepare to make the transition into making money off of acts of service, if that makes sense. Acts of service from your own heart, from your own doing, through your own will. You may be having a little bit of imposter syndrome because you don't feel like it's not important, or you don't feel like it's needed, or you are afraid that it may not be successful. Drop the imposter syndrome and kind of be selfless in a different way. Try to learn how to be selfless on a large scale, because if you're selfless on a small scale, people are just going to take advantage of you. Like I just told somebody this, it's like being Iron Man for 10 people when you got the potential to be Iron Man to the world. We also got communication, throat chakra. I communicate openly and honestly to express my thoughts and feelings clearly. I share my inner knowledge freely with integrity and without fear. My aim is to be fully understood by others. I am open to giving and receiving praise, and I will be careful not to talk excessively and make it all about me. I create space in my conversations for others to communicate with me, and I inquire about others' thoughts and their feelings, as listening to their truth can be uplifting. It's like basically telling you to take the chance and communicate what you need to communicate, express what you need to express, so that you can move into this next level of your life. But you're ascending spiritually, but in the 3D realm it's always hard to do that because you got bills. So it's just kind of about integrating these two things and figuring out how to stay grounded while also being spiritual, how to be spiritual while also staying grounded, because you don't want your head too far up in the clouds, and you don't want to be so grounded that you're stressing out your body. um, Throat chakra communication. I communicate openly and honestly to express my thoughts and feelings clearly. I share my inner knowledge freely with integrity and without fear. So yeah, there's some type of inner knowledge and inner knowing that you have that needs to be shared. It says my aim is to fully be understood by others, but I always read this as to release the need to be understood by others. Like everybody's not gonna agree with what you gonna say. Everybody's gonna have an opinion about whatever the fuck you put out there, but that shouldn't stop you from putting it out there. Be open to giving and receiving praise. And it says be careful not to talk excessively and make it about you. So people may decide to project their experiences onto you to discredit and devalue your experience, but just give them grace by keeping that in mind, and you don't always have to respond or react to people that come at you that way. And it's basically evidence that they are being triggered, and that's even more evidence that whatever you are saying needs to be said. Um, you are creating a space for people who enjoy truth. You are creating a space for people who need to hear truth and who don't run from truth and who truly believe that the truth will set them free. And then we got oneness and unity. Which one is that? Okay, I'm gonna keep that. Oneness and unity. I accept the oneness of all life, and I know I am one with all others on this journey. I support them and let them support me. I am brave and not afraid to ask for assistance. I allow myself to empathize and sympathize with others, and I choose to see the love in all around me. I see everything as part of my own life. I accept others for who they are. I find common ground with others rather than differences, as this brings harmony into my life and into theirs. Solar plexus, once again, confidence and courage. I accept the oneness of all life, and I know I am one with all others on this journey. I support them and let them support me. I am brave and not afraid to ask for assistance. So if you are down bad, as far as your basic needs go, don't be afraid to ask for help. And then also, that's what the communication is. Don't be afraid to share your story with people, because you'll be surprised what resources lie for you on the other side. And then also, not only communicating your needs to people, communicate your needs to God. Make sure you are praying. Whenever your heart is heavy, make sure you pray. Whenever you are sad, make sure you pray. Whenever you got anxiety, you make sure you pray. Whenever you're confused or unsure about something, make sure you pray. I see everything as part of my own life, and I accept others for who they are. I find common ground with others rather than differences, as it's bring harmony into my life and into others. So it could be something that you're doing publicly, and it might trigger a lot of biases, a lot of prejudices within people that may be listening or watching or receiving whatever you're saying. This could be in your workplace, this could be in your friend group, this could be in your family. But what you're saying needs to be said, because it's breaking cycles and it's exposing truth, so that change can happen within whatever space that this is happening in. I had did a reading before this one because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't my energy, but legit the same cards came out in the same messages here. So I'm gonna revisit the first cards that came out. Okay, we got first chakra, base chakra, self-sufficiency. By finding material security without being materialistic, I will gain satisfaction, stability, and inner strength. I am resourceful. I put in the effort to be responsible for supplying fundamental needs in my life, such as shelter, food, water, and clothing. I take responsibility for where I now find myself in life as I move forwards. I get in touch with and trust my innate wisdom, which tells me that I will be provided with all I need. You could possibly be worried about your basic needs in life. You could be worried about your stability, your security, your food, your shelter, water, clothing, just all your basic needs right now. All right, so what made me laugh, when I did the second spread, another root chakra card came out, and it was independence, and it said the same thing. But it says, I know what my needs are, and I actively pursue them, knowing that I will be guided and provided for when I put in the effort. I open myself to all possibilities and participate fully in life. I use my imagination and my vision to initiate what I wish for, and I pursue it. I am not waiting to be rescued. I am not a victim. I am strong. So, heavy integration period right now. Integrating your dark and your light, your gratitude and your resentment, your grace and your judgment, your selflessness and your selfishness. Everything is being balanced right now, and it's the equivalent of a butterfly being in its cocoon and turning into fucking goo, and then emerging as a butterfly. And I heard that process is painful to the butterflies. So you could be just actually losing your shit right now. You're trying to figure out how you're gonna pay this, how you're gonna pay that. How are you gonna take care of your health while also managing your bills? How are you gonna try to stay open for love and friendship while also trying to heal wounds of abandonment and emotional wounds and triggers and things like that? It just seems like a lot is happening right now. It's because the universe is literally alchemizing you, and your life is not yours. Like, the more you surrender to control, I'm not gonna say the easier to get, but the smoother the days will become, and you'll begin to find joy in your days. Keep your eyes on the prize, but also don't forget to look around at the scenery. I'm also picking up, of course, on a little low vibrational energy. It could be people that are like trying to do something like this, but they're not real. They kind of fake with it. Their ego is too involved to truly seek out ways to be of service. They don't know what that looks like because the ego is too involved. They're a taker. And so on that side of the spectrum, they are being integrated into learning balance as to why it's not good to be a taker. Just like you learn hard lessons about giving too much, people are beginning to learn hard lessons about taking too much, being energy vampires, if you will, making everything about them, initiating one-sided connections, knowing that the person is weak or whatever. They feel like, being, what's the word? Being predatory while seeking relationships. That's what I'm picking up on the other side. Taking advantage of people's generosity, using people for self-sufficiency, not being independent but being codependent on people and sucking them dry, siphoning their energy, confusing them so that they don't speak, making it about them so that the other person don't speak their truth, being selfish with the other person's selflessness. There is no oneness. There is no unity within this person. They're a fragmented person. They're a broken person. So they use different pieces of people, or they take different pieces of people rather to pour into themselves because they believe that will make them whole. That's the low vibrational side I'm picking up. But the high vibrational side, you are self-sufficient. You might be freaking out a little bit about it. You might have learned some lessons about being too generous. And you learn how to pour that same generosity into yourself. You've already broke codependency. Now you are independent. You know you're not a victim. You're not waiting on anybody to come rescue you. You are strong. Though you might have just recently had a moment where you were just like, you know what, it would be fucking nice for somebody to come save me. But then you got back confident. You start to integrate everything, the oneness and the unity within yourself and the love in you and within your environment. You're starting to change your perspective into a spiritual one, crown chakra, selflessness. And you're looking for ways to be of service without draining yourself. You're trying to pour into others without pouring from an empty cup or even pouring directly from your cup. But that comes with communication, boundaries, and telling your truth. Get those people out of your life, then make it about them when you're talking about you. Because sometimes people will play on your need to be understood, your need to be supported, your need to be assisted. Just discern wisely. So until next time, guys, Jesus, just be careful out there about who you got in your circle. They got a little dark there at the end, I ain't gonna lie.